So, one of the things that you're most likely to have to do in the summer in an assessment is use a lawnmower. We on our site have got these very old rotary mowers. A rotary mower mows using a propeller-like blade horizontal to the ground, and it cuts the grass in that fashion. There are also cylinder mowers which cut with that action onto a blade which is called a sole plate, so it's more like a pair of scissors and does a neater cut. So the two different types of mower that you're most likely to come in contact with. Today I'm going to take you through the rotary mower and what you need to be aware of for an assessment. Okay, the first thing you'll need to think about is health and safety. So I'm actually putting my gloves on. And I'll also remove the HT lead. Ooh, that's come off. Put that back on there. HT lead cap came off. If I'm removing the HT lead, I'll just show you that. There, look, from the spark plug, which will prevent if there's any fuel stored in the machine, it will prevent the cylinder engaging and firing. It's just a safety precaution that I was taught when I was growing up, so I'm telling you now. Okay, on the mower, we've got an air filter, which is normally at the side and can be exposed like that. Maintenance of that might be blowing it out. If you obviously you put glasses on if you're doing that with an airline. It might just be banging the filter to get rid of any dust or anything that's on there, and then putting it back on into the machine. Come on, Darren. Wrong way down. Was it that way? I think it was. There we go. And putting that back on the machine. We might want to examine the blades. To do that, we need to tilt the machine. So before we tilt the machine, we will check the oil first, because it will be a lot harder to check the oil, it will be less accurate once the machine's been spilled. So the oil check is there, and very simply, on this machine, we take the dipstick out, we have a look. And I can see there is loads, but I'm just going to give it a wipe with a rag. Pardon me. You need to wipe with a rag and put it back in again. And then just take it back out again. And I can clearly see that that dipstick is fully submerged in oil. Now I did that at that stage because I now need to tilt the machine. I'm just going to put that safely away in the correct bin. Disposal of waste is quite important. So I'm going to tilt the machine to have a look at the blades. And we do that, we always tilt it air filter side up to prevent petrol spilling into the air filter and causing the machine to choke when we're using it. So always tilt it air filter side up. Looking at the condition of the blades, I've got my gloves on, the HT lead's off. I can see the blades, well, it's a little bit dull. I mean, it's like an impact cutting mechanism on a rotary mower. So it's rather like, if you imagine when you were a kid, you had a stick and you used to whip at the nettles or whatever. It's a very similar cutting mechanism to that. It's just a high-speed blade spinning around. So it does get worn. It could do with a bit of a sharpen, and I will take you through that process on a separate tutorial. If we did need to remove the blade to sharpen it, we'd jam a piece of wood in there, and then it's just lefty-loosey on that bolt to unwind the bolt. We then clamp that in a vise and rub it over with a file. As I say, that'll be done in a separate tutorial. But I can see the blade doesn't have any pieces missing on it, and consequently I feel it's all right and fit for purpose. I'm just going to tilt it back over again. Another thing I might consider is the condition of the shroud. You can see the person who used this last didn't clean it off. and that's going to leave me a little bit of an extra job at the end of my working day. But the condition of the shroud's in good shape, and because we're going to be mowing using a grass box through the exit chute, we put a grass box there, there's going to be very little airborne debris, so I probably won't need to wear eye protection. This machine, however, does operate higher than 85 decibels, so I will be definitely wearing my ear protection, which are just situated there. I'll be putting those on when I use this mower. Okay. Important thing to have a look at before you take the mower out now is the condition of the pull start. You know, to make sure the pull start is not frayed. So just take it out one wind through, make sure it's not frayed. I have driven several miles with a mower on the back of my wagon, unloaded it, pulled the pull start and ended up with a pull start in my hand and the mower separate. Not a lot of mowing went off that day. So make sure you check that before you take it out of the shed. And also, you've got a petrol on key here. The petrol on key needs to run in series with the petrol feed pipe. So that would be no petrol getting to the carburetor. It's sort of effectively making a gateway, you see, making a gateway. That way, oh, pardon me, that way is petrol on, which is allowing petrol to flow into the carburetor. So that needs to be checked before you do it. The other thing is making sure you've got adequate fuel for the mow that you're going to do. There's plenty in there. That will save you fueling up on an area of grass which could cause environmental problems. So you want to be fueling up on hard standing using a filler, a funnel, so that you don't spill. We don't want environmental problems, and also we don't want fire hazards as well. Okay. So, looking at that, I think I'm ready to start mowing. I'm going to put the HT lead back on now so I don't forget when I'm on site and wonder why it doesn't start. And I'm going to go outside and do a little bit of mowing now.